Donald Trump keeps giving Democrats what they want. It's confusing, really, because it keeps happening over and over and over again. Think about this weekend. It was Easter. President Biden still has not said the name of slain NYPD officer Jonathan Diller. Over the weekend, NYPD honored Diller in the only way they can. And his widow all but blamed Democrats for her husband's murder.
It's been 2 years and 2 months since Detective Rivera and Detective Mora made the ultimate sacrifice, just like my husband, Jonathan Diller. Dominique Rivera stood in front of all the elected officials present today pleading for change. That change never came, and now my son will grow up without his father. I will grow old without my husband, and his parents have to say goodbye to their child.
Remarkably strong woman. Diller was murdered by a career criminal. Trump visited the family. His widow gave a gut-wrenching eulogy. That should have been the story all weekend. Yet Trump can't take the win. Rather than celebrate Easter like a normal politician, he compared himself to Jesus and went scorched earth on social media. Happy Easter to all, including crooked and corrupt prosecutors and judges that are doing everything possible to interfere with the presidential election of 2024 and put me in prison, including those many people that I completely and totally despise because they want to destroy America. One of many, many social media posts. Yes, some of Trump's grievances have legitimacy, fine. But Democrats and their media friends will use any opportunity to talk about Trump being a threat to democracy and a dictator. And he keeps giving them that excuse over and over and over again. Bill O'Reilly's here, host of the No Spin News, author of the coming book, Confronting the President's No Spin Assessments from Washington to Biden. Bill, it is good to see you. Happy Easter to you and yours. I want to get to the funeral in a minute that I know you were at, and it was an important moment. I'm glad you went. Donald Trump at this point is almost reminding me of that old Israeli saying about the Palestinians that he never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity.
It is perplexing. I think that the former president is not able to control himself as far as his frustrations are concerned. He's got to lash out because he feels that he's being treated so unfairly. But you're correct in the analysis that it doesn't advance his cause to put himself in a position where the press that hates him, which is 90% of it, can use his words to obscure very important stories, like the assassination of the New York City police officer by a man who had 21 arrests and was out on the street. That is a huge story for America. Yet the New York Times put it on page 21. Newsday, the newspaper of Long Island, downplayed it, didn't use the widow's remarks that NewsNation just used, because they know they can't defend this policy of no bail, of permissive criminal justice behavior. And they can't defend the Biden administration either. It's an abject failure. So they pivot to Trump all the time to obscure the reality of what we're experiencing in America. Apparently, Donald Trump doesn't understand that or doesn't care.
You talked about the fury of being treated unfairly. And look, there's a lot to that when someone's treating you unfairly, as I think people can reasonably agree Donald Trump is treated in the press. There's anger that comes of that, although is that more important to him? And I'm wondering if you think sort of the why it's more important to him than winning.
I don't know. I can't get into, when I speak to Donald Trump, and I haven't for a while, he's lucid. And when we discuss whatever issue he wants to discuss, because I don't bring any agenda into conversations with him, he calls me, and if he asks my opinion, I give it to him. But he doesn't seem to be able to ignore things that he should ignore. And he's hurting himself. There's no question he is. The ultimate revenge for Donald Trump is winning the election in November. And he should do everything he can to try to make that happen. But instead, he goes off into tangents that hurt his party and hurt him. He should be up by 20 points, Leland. Every journalist knows that. The Biden administration is a disaster. You can debate that all day long, but the facts are the facts. Just the open border alone and the 20% rise in prices for the essentials of life, just those two issues, should disqualify Joe Biden from any consideration for anybody's vote. Yet the hatred of Donald Trump is at this point overriding that.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.